sounds as good as WEFM, the clean, fresh sound.
Alrighty, so before we get into our Talk to Us segment, we have a notice here from Edwin D. Lanes and Sons Limited. So Lanes pop-up shop moves to Barley this Friday, the 5th of June at the Square from 11 a.m. Best deals on Inco, Decacula, and Paddlers brands. All right, so look out for the Inco Tech there in Barley tomorrow from 11 a.m. Okay?
Listen all day, every day on your favorite streaming platform. The clean and fresh sound. Rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
We back on the track. I'm just playing. I'm not doing that. We're back. It's the final talk segment of the morning. It's Talk to Us, which means talk to us. Give a call now. Give a call and say something now. Send a text message or something now. This is that part of the program where you can call us. Well, you could call us all morning, but with this one, you can bring up your own topic. You can say, hey, this is the topic I want you to discuss. This is what I want to bring up. And you can simply call us and do that. And once it is something that we can talk about, guess what? We are going to talk about it. And there's somebody who wants to talk to us. So, hello, caller. Good morning. Hello, caller. Who we all know who it is. All right, Mr. Roberts, what do I say to you?
Call directly. Do not call through WhatsApp. Call directly. Okay, Dave? Call directly. Well, let's see if you get through. Morning, Dave.
Somebody wants to talk to us.
Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts. Okay.
I hope that if you are at work right now and you just happen to be listening to the radio, whether it is an actual you call them a transistor radio, that's what we call it, or it's an actual old school radio, or you're listening on your phone, every time you hear the radio, man, I hope your body give a little movement, you know. Shanika, Rajiv, Narasa. Let me leave the people. Let the people do their work. And
hi, Dave. Morning, Dave. Good morning, Dave.
All righty then.
Dave, so Dave, final time. When you call us, please call us directly instead of through the WhatsApp. All right, Dave. I know you're hearing us in a delay, but when you call directly. The WhatsApp situation, we're just hearing ourselves speaking back, and it's taking too long for you to hear us. All right, so call directly. Don't use WhatsApp. All right, thanks.
Okay, so let's get into our topic of discussion, and we are saying, talk to us. Is it bad?
Wait,
Oh, we have another. Okay, so just a minute.
I'm trying to figure out who calling. All right, one more time. Let me see. All right. Hello. Good morning. Hello. Good morning.
Hello from the other side.
All right. So I thought it was All right.
Okay. All righty then. So if there are no more calls, then we will just go into our final talk.
All right. No, that's right.
Okay, we do have a call. Good morning.
Good
Hello.
morning, good morning. Brother Kojo's not too brotherly today, sad.
Oh,
What's up? ¿Qué tal? Oh, ¿qué pasa?
No, it's the same thing. It's correct.
All right.
I have a good friend who just passed away. He's a journalist in St. Vincent. His name is Shivambu. I don't know if you all ever heard of him.
No, I'm not familiar with him.
That's Kenton Chan's buddy. So
Okay.
Oh.
he's one of the Rose, the ex-ambassador for Cuba. That's his brother. The guy who writes in the Searchlight, Randy Prose. That's his brother. Yeah, he just passed away.
What's his correct name? Is she what's the name that you call?
Shivambu.
That's his correct name?
They call him Shivambu Rose. Yeah, that's his name that you want to be called, Shivambu Rose.
Okay. You know his other name?
No, I never really remember to call him his other name. I just know Shivambu. That's the name I know him as.
Okay. Okay, so it's one of the Rose brothers. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I know there is Conley. There's a Conley Rose as well.
That's the same one.
That's
him.
The same one. Okay.
That's the name I didn't want. I didn't want to call it, but if you call it, then it will.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think. I've never heard of him by that other name, the name that you called, but I know of him as Conley. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
he just turned 71 Saturday gone.
Wow. Well, that's the thing, Kojo. That's the thing. Yeah. All right. So our condolences to you, and of course to the entire Rose family. All right.
Yeah.
So all right.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
You're welcome. All right.
Okay, then. So we can head into the discussion now. You have something there? No? Yeah. All righty then. So the topic is it bad that a father refused to attend his son's wedding because of his first wife or because of how he treated his first wife? Now, but when I met this thing on the internet and I started reading this father saying, well, I did not go to my son's wedding, I was like, how could you as a parent not go to your son's wedding? What do you mean? Your son's special day? Bad daddy. Right? But let's see if we feel the same way. So this father is saying that I didn't go to my son's wedding, and here's a little backstory as to why. After my son graduated high school, he moved 3 states away. So this is overseas. At 19, he married a girl he met. The father tried to convince him to wait because he thought that he was a little bit too young for that. But they ended up getting married anyway. At the age of 20, they had their first child, which was a little girl, and then not too long after that, the wife gave birth to the second child. After the first child, the father said that they noticed the daughter-in-law wasn't really happy. They thought it was just some postpartum depression, but after the second baby arrived, the son and his wife separated. Now, she would usually carry the kids to the in-laws for a visit, and it was then that she started to basically get comfortable with talking to them about what was happening or what she was going through. All right. So the father says, well, I know there are two sides to every story, but because I know my son, I believed her. Right. So he sat his son down a bunch of times and he spoke to him about his marriage. The son did not want to take responsibility. He blamed the woman for everything. Even when it was pointed out that the son was the problem, he just said, nah, it ain't me. It wasn't me. Like, Shaggy, it's her. Everything is her, right? I ain't taking no accountability for that. Right? So they got into counseling for a year and then things were okay. But then the daughter-in-law filed for divorce. The daughter-in-law filed for divorce. 3 days later, the son was on Facebook announcing his new girlfriend. And a month later, they were engaged. Right? Now, the son, he said the son had forced his then wife to become a permanent stay-at-home mother. That's the first wife. So when she had the baby, he forced her to become a stay-at-home mother. Of course, she did that. So she didn't really have any other family or friends. So after the divorce, she was basically alone, and the in-laws said, you know what, since we like you, we understand that our son was the problem. We're going to take you in. We're going to accept you. We're going to keep you here. We're going to, comfort you, and so on and so forth. Before the divorce was even finalized, they got a letter It's a wedding invitation to their son's wedding. And the father said he made it clear to his son that he would not be attending and he would not have his blessing. Now, the mother told him, I'm going to see to it that your father comes to this wedding. Don't listen to your daddy. I'm going to make sure he comes. But the father said, my mind's made up. I ain't going. And he did not go. On the day of the wedding, his daughter also joined with him and did not go to her brother's wedding. And instead, they both stayed at home with their daughter-in-law because if the father just figured, I'm not supporting my son and his whatever he got going on at this time. Now, as a parent, is that something you would have done? Is that something you would have supported? Or you would have gone out and say, you know what? It is my child. It's his other special moment. I am going to be there. I am going to show support because he still is my child. Who do you agree with here? Me? I'm going to ask Roleza.
This is, well, as Josh was saying here, it's a personal decision, right? That does not necessarily make him a bad father. I don't think that just because you are a parent or relative, if you don't support something that your child or a relative is involved in, you don't have to show up, right? Show up, I think, sometimes means that it's a sign of approval. And if you are not approving of something, it's fine to just not attend, right? It's the same I feel with funerals. If you know somebody go and pull white, when people at funeral to them pretend like everything was fine. If everything wasn't fine, don't go, right? So it's the same thing for me with this situation. He's standing in solidarity with the first wife, and he has his reasons for doing so. I am happy to see that the children were not denied the opportunity because it's still their father. So the children could go or should attend or, attended their father's the wedding to the new bride, but a father doesn't have to go.
I agree with you. Or initially, like I said, I was upset because I was thinking, how could you not go to the wedding? But then I read it and I was like, yeah, I'm on your side, daddy. I support you. I have no problem with you not going. I like that you stood your ground. I'm hoping that it would send a message to the son so he will know, get your act together. Because just because I'm your father, I'm not going to be supporting you with any nonsense. So I stand with the daddy.
Yeah. I think this is one of those things as well, too, where you may not necessarily support the actions of your child, but I don't think it's a cause for you to stop communication altogether, right? I would still hope that there would still be that open communication, but in terms of that actual event, no. What it is I do have to question, though, in this situation is the relationship that the new wife is going to have with her father-in-law, because clearly the father-in-law has a preference, right? Right or wrong, the father-in-law has a preference over the first wife. And, this sort of in-law relationship, it could make the new marriage a difficult one because the first wife might actually be placed on a higher pedestal than this new wife, and there might be some sort of tension, So I think one of the questions sometimes people do ask is, should you enter into a marriage where your in-laws don't like you?
Boy,
right? I think to me that is almost that is a thing. And I mean, I might be quick to say, well, fireburn them, if you don't like me, you don't like me. But right, I am marrying you, I'm marrying your son. But do I necessarily want to be faced with all of that tension afterwards? Like, would they be treating me with a sort of attitude, Would they be receptive? Let's say where there are family gatherings. Would I be treated as the outcast? Additionally, it places the son in a funny position because in a social setting, let's say at a family gathering, it is either one, they're not going to go, or two, he is going to look uncomfortable because if she does go with him, it's almost like, how is he going to split his attention? Yeah. You ever go out with a friend who invited you somewhere, but who they went with was their friends? Yeah. So you just never knew how it is you fit into that scenario. It's like you literally felt like the third wheel. Right. Yep. That is one of those situations. So it is. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. She could, the current wife could be saying, well, you ain't come to my wedding, so we know what it is, so that alone could create some sort of, and then they'd probably like the mother-in-law because she actually went. So mama's cool. They'll be cool with mama. Or maybe the mother will try to act as the peacemaker, saying that she said, you know what, it's my son still. I'm going to go to the wedding. She probably going to have to be the peacemaker to sort out.
But would you get married to somebody if the mother-in-law doesn't like you?
I usually say I would be with a guy even if his parents don't like me because I'm not with y'all. But it would be a tricky situation. I think I would have to wait until I am in it to determine, because what is the reason? There are some in-laws some mothers who are just really clingy. They just don't want to let go of their sons. If it's a situation like that, then he's going to have to decide what is going to happen there. Because as far as I'm concerned, if you don't like me just because you don't want to let go of your son, that's not a valid reason. What
about they prefer the girl he was with before?
Boy.
What do you think you might do there?
Yeah, boy. It would come down to me and him, because ultimately I care about my partner and the love we have for each other and your family. I mean, we're not going to be living with them for sure, because I know for a fact I ain't living with no in-law, right? Again. So we're not going to be living with them.
That almost went over my head. I just okay, all right.
So it's really up to us, because I don't care. I don't care if your parents don't like me. So long as you love me and I love you, I really could not care less about that, especially if they don't have any valid reasons for not liking me, that I consider to be a valid reason. But then I might get into this situation and it's a little tricky, but we can cross that bridge when we get to it. Yeah. But right now, I just feel like I'm going to go through with it, because I love him and he loves me.
Yeah, putting Dianna on the spot this morning. So you go through with this. I'm playing Dave this morning. So you go through and you say, all right, I don't really care about how she feels about me, etc. Right? You say you're not going to live with any in-laws again, right? But suppose, okay, fine, you go and get married. Y'all okay, but his mother is aging. As you are getting older, his mother is also aging and she needs to come and live with y'all. What would happen there? You see? So there's the reason why I'm asking, because sometimes you have to kind of think long term.
Yeah, I hesitate.
Especially if he's the only child for his mother.
Oh, Lord of mercy. No, I have always been of the opinion, or I've just said that I'm not living with any in-law, and I would not force my partner to live with any of my in-laws as well. I would not make my in-laws, my family, interfere with our relationships. I would hope that he could extend the same courtesy. I do not have intentions of being a caretaker for anybody, whether it is my family or my partner's family, simply because that is just not something that I think I can do. I usually say, if my mother gets to that stage, I will have to hire somebody to take care of her if we don't have any other siblings, because it is not something I can deal with. So I ain't dealing with my own mother.
Okay.
I don't know, but we probably have to hire. I would encourage him to hire a caretaker for his mother, and I may even assist him with getting a caretaker for his mother, because I'm not being the caretaker, because I can't do those things.
So as in, she would stay in her home, but the caretaker will go to her home, so she's not coming to live with y'all, and the caretaker would be around.
If she's going to be peaceful, she can, because in the old age, I have a little compassion for the elderly, so in the old days, I may want to think, bring her over, but then if she starts to create problems, if he didn't want her to go, I go and release her, because I ain't about that life.
It's just something that I actually thought about recently, because like when you get in, so just think long term. If I were to get involved with somebody who's an only child, I have to think about where his mother might be living when she gets older, and maybe even my mother when she gets older. And like part of me just feel like put the two of them together. Mommy.
I agree with that.
Mommy, right down the life. But no, like it's something that you really have to think about. And I don't know. I really don't know. But it's just, I think sometimes like when persons get married, you just think about things in this one-off situation. It's this one-off instance. It's just love. You love the person, but it's so much more to it, especially as people get older. You have to consider so many more factors, So, yeah, it's just something I was there thinking about. And Mom, I wasn't being serious, so don't WhatsApp message me.
All right, then. So I think with that, we are going to head straight out. I just seen your mommy's comment on the live. Long time I heard that thing, Miss Janie Fire.
And I always wondered if Miss Janie was a real person. For years I've been wondering if Miss Janie is a real person. Like if there was an event that happened And that is why the term came about. Maybe so, but I don't even know if it's just a Vincent thing, because I think I've heard a Trini say it already to Miss Jenny's fire. So I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
So if somebody knows, you could probably inform us.
All right. As well as what killed the cat. Like what, not curiosity, like what did the cat do? What did the cat go to investigate? Right. And with that, we are heading out of this talk segment because it is 9:47 and we have to bring to you today's community dateline.
99.